Coco Gauff is taking her career in a new direction, leaving Roger Federer's Team 8 and joining up with entertainment mogul's WME. And she has launched Coco Gauff Enterprises.
At the age of 21, Coco Gauff announced that she had left Roger Federer's Squad 8, signed a huge new Adidas contract apparently worth approximately $30 million, and started her own business. There was neither a major press rollout nor weeks of tease. The whole tennis community drew in a bit closer after a single, confident, understated announcement. Not because she had recently taken home another prize. This is the kind of decision that most players only make at the very end of their careers, when the rackets are almost put away, not in the center of the spotlight, not because she had moved up in the rankings. Additionally, while some described the action as audacious and motivating, others appeared to be much less enthused.
Everyone around me was like on board with it because like I know I could handle it. I think it was more just like on the mental side, like being there a lot of times, like mentally being on the site all the time can be like tiring. But, they were really encouraging because they knew it was something I wanted to do, and I was like, I mean, I'm young now, but I know eventually, I'm not going to be able to be playing doubles and singles and all of that. So I was like, I'm going to take advantage of it.
One of the first obvious responses came from her biggest on-court competitor, Aryna Sabalenka, and it wasn't exactly a heartfelt congrats, according to many courtside reports and people in the tennis community. What was Sabalenka's true thought process upon hearing the news? Was it just plain annoyance, or was it something akin to jealousy? Let's take a little step back and set the scene. You must examine the state of women's tennis before Coco's revelation in order to fully comprehend why it made such a commotion. Power, emotion, and raw intensity have frequently taken center stage on the WTA Tour in recent years. Aryna Sabalenka was the best example of that. Force, powerful serves, forceful returns, and a presence on the court that could alter a game in a matter of minutes were the cornerstones of her game. She was doing more than simply winning fights. Her unvarnished comments, anger, and disappointments were making headlines. Coco Gauff was on a completely different route at the same moment. The 15-year-old who shocked the tennis world by defeating Venus Williams on center court at Wimbledon in 2019 was the first time fans saw her. She had matured gradually and patiently with the procedure ever since. Her career was steadily supervised by Roger Federer's Squad 8. Professionals handled contracts. Press appearances were polished. Every stage of her ascent appeared methodically planned and conventional, just like the majority of champions have always developed their careers. And it functioned flawlessly for a while. Coco became one of the sport's most recognizable faces, won her maiden Grand Slam, and developed a reputation that advertisers adored.
So the extension with me kind of started in the whole campaign with the doubters. It obviously started with my speech at US Open where I mentioned, allowing doubters to fuel me to do better. And I kind of realized that a lot of things that are told to small business owners are also things that are told to athletes and me specifically, whereas like I've heard a lot that I'm too young, or that I should just focus on tennis, or you shouldn't do multiple things at once.
Aryna, on the other hand, was using strength, passion, and unadulterated competitive fire to carve out her own legacy in a different way. The calm, collected prodigy and the fiery, courageous fighter were frequently portrayed by the media as opposites. It was a familiar dynamic for longtime tennis fans. It mirrored the differences between athletes like Pete Sampras and Andre Agassi, or Chris Evert and Martina Navratilova. Distinct personalities and techniques, each excellent in their own right.
Just making unforced errors. I don't know, I have to check the statistics. I think she won the match not because she played incredible, just because I made all of those mistakes from, if you look from the outside, kind of like from an easy.
However, the discourse completely altered at that point, and it had nothing tennis to do with a match, a trophy, or a final set. Everyone was taken aback by the corporate choice. For a choice of this magnitude, Coco's announcement was succinct, straightforward, and almost understated. She announced that she was leaving Roger Federer's Team 8, getting a new, long-term contract with Adidas that is reputedly worth $30 million, and starting her own management agency called Coco Gauff Enterprises. There was no grandiose news conference or dramatic countdown, simply a statement that made it obvious she was taking more charge of her destiny. Coco clarified in subsequent interviews that the choice wasn't made right away. As she develops as an athlete, company owner, and decision-maker, she expressed a desire for greater accountability for her own career. She acknowledged that the physical aspect of tennis is just one aspect of the difficulty. That what truly motivated her to make the shift was being mentally present, making plans, and considering life beyond competition. She stated, "I'm young now, but I'm not always going to be able to play singles and doubles forever," adding that her closest friends and family were in favor of the change since they understood it was something she genuinely desired. In professional tennis, that kind of attitude is uncommon, particularly at the age of 21. Until they retire, the majority of players, even the best ones, let agents and sizable management teams oversee every contract, appearance, and brand choice. Coco made a different decision. She made the decision to take charge now, while she was still in her prime, winning, and the entire world was following her every move, rather than waiting till the conclusion of her career. It was, in many respects, the strongest statement she had ever made off the court. Money wasn't the only factor. It had to do with independence. The idea was to declare, "This is my career, and I'm going to run it." And that was encouraging to some. Others found it disconcerting, particularly those accustomed to the sport's previous framework. At that moment, everyone silently turned to look at Aryna Sabalenka. Players were assembling for the Cincinnati Open when Coco's decision was made public, and media were waiting for responses. Before long, Aryna Sabalenka was questioned about it. Journalists present at the practice courts said that she gave a rather succinct response. She reportedly shrugged a little and replied, "Good for her, I guess," before returning her attention to her training. That answer was really noteworthy. There is typically at least a formal demonstration of support in professional tennis, particularly among elite players. Furthermore, given Sabalenka's sensitive and expressive nature, the lack of enthusiasm raised questions. Additionally, friction between the two had previously made headlines following her defeat by Coco at the French Open. "I think she didn't play incredible," Sabalenka had stated. All of those errors were caused by easy balls. That remark, which diminished Coco's performance, was extensively covered and condemned. Months later, Coco is taking complete charge of her career in addition to winning contests. It must be difficult for someone who has worked so hard to be acknowledged as one of the major players in women's tennis to see the focus abruptly change. Sabalenka then stated, "I'm focused on my own career. Despite this, my goal is to win games." Some fans believed that the tension was still present, albeit subdued. And Coco's audacious choice felt much more significant because of that silent pressure. Coco's choice feels like a watershed for tennis fans who have been watching the sport for decades. Great players used to be expected to devote nearly all of their attention to the court. Large management teams, sponsors, and agents handled business affairs. The model was essentially the same from Serena Williams to Steffi Graf, from Billie Jean King to Chris Evert. Play first, leave a lasting legacy, and then take a more significant move into the corporate sector. That timeline was reversed by Coco. She took control, while still rising in the rankings rather than waiting for retirement. And that level of independence is not only unexpected but momentous for a generation that grew up witnessing athletes like Boris Becker, John McEnroe, or Martina Navratilova delegate their off-court decisions to others. This action also reveals something about the future of sports. Today's athletes receive training for purposes other than competition. They are being trained to think like brand builders, public people, and entrepreneurs. Tennis players who aren't scared to change the rules off the court are shaping the sport, which has its roots in tradition and manners. People in the WTA are apparently keeping a very close eye on things behind the scenes. What does it indicate for the remainder of the tour if Coco Gauff can handle her own business affairs at age 21 and still compete at the top level? When someone their own age is demonstrating that it is possible to do it in a different way, why should future stars immediately cede control of their careers to outside organizations? It may seem strange and perhaps a little awkward to many devoted tennis fans, but daring people have always brought about change in the sport. Additionally, Coco's choice is consistent with the lengthy history of athletes who not only won games but also subtly altered the sport. This was the beginning of a change in power, not merely the signing of a contract. There is more going on here than just a rivalry. There is a difference in time, approach, and personality. Silence, structure, and a head preparation are Coco's choices. She is not reacting to the sound. She isn't responding to interviews or publishing messages. She just continues to practice, compete, and now has a business in the background. It's difficult to overlook that level of serenity, particularly at her age. On the other hand, Sabalenka has never been quiet, which contributes to her allure. Her feelings are very visible. The energy is electrifying when she's winning. Her frustration is equally apparent when things don't go her way. Her opponents and the match in front of her consumed her attention for years. However, it seems like some of that hostility has moved off the court lately. It has been observed by reporters. In Sabalenka's interviews, inquiries concerning Coco have been more frequent. It has also been spotted by fans. The focus of the talk has shifted from her serve or her most recent victory to her response, or lack thereof, to Coco's increasing influence. Even the best athletes sometimes become weary of such attention. Sabalenka finds herself defending her concentration, reiterating that she is here to play tennis and win trophies, while Coco sits in meetings discussing future collaborations and brand development. It's a small but significant change. The goal is long-term control. The other is struggling to stay in the here and now. And that contrast is more important than ever in today's sports world, when sponsors and organizations seek stability, vision, and poise. In this instance, silence is starting to speak louder than annoyance. Here we are, then. Two of the most well-known figures in women's tennis are going in rather different ways. One building in silence, making plans for the future, taking charge of her finances, reputation, and legacy. Driven by emotion, the other player locked in on the court, battling to maintain her position at the top of a never-ending sport. Coco Gauff hasn't made any disparaging remarks regarding Aryna Sabalenka. She hasn't retaliated. She hasn't even hinted at stress, let alone clapped back. She's just kept going, landing big contracts, launching her own business, and competing at the top level. Silence can sometimes make the strongest statement of all. Whether on purpose or not, Sabalenka's responses have kept her connected to Coco's narrative. That may be the most difficult aspect, in a sense. No matter how hard she trains or how many bouts she wins, she can't manage to break free from a conversation that she didn't initiate. That leads me to you. Do you think Sabalenka's reaction stems from jealousy of Coco's next-level business move? Or do you think it's just the annoyance of a fierce rival seeing the spotlight change in real time? As a longtime tennis fan, I would love to hear your thoughts, so please share them in the comments. Take a moment to subscribe to the channel if you like frank, insightful analyses of what's actually going on in the tennis industry. You won't want to miss the upcoming articles.